Flood, fire, water damage, mould. We've got expert property manager here to give us all we need to know about it. Very fast. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Expert property manager Cleo Witt here of 20 years experience. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's a good day today. The Blues won last night, and yeah, feeling pumped for the day. Yes, what a match.
Yeah, it was a great match, I hear. I was forced to watch Kylie Minogue documentary with my wife.
I watched that last week. It made me cry. It's sad, but you could have been
Yeah.
watching the game. Oh well.
Yeah. I think that is that called emasculated, like footy Kylie Minogue documentary.
We'll just put your manhood up on the mantle for a little bit.
I was on my phone the whole time. I didn't watch much of it.
Oh dear. Never mind. Never mind. You can always
Never
watch the
mind.
highlights.
Cleo, this is a big topic. It's a scary topic for some. I mentioned fire as well because what people don't realise is you often, if drenches are activated, it will flood the property, even if your property doesn't have fire, but someone else in the building does. There is flood is a huge thing, and after the floods come the mould. Tell us what we need to know.
Yeah, so a flood can occur at any time during a tenancy, whether it be from natural disasters or from a split flexi hose in the middle of the night. You wake up and you've got water all through the apartment. Minimizing loss is very important, and a tenant has to contribute to that minimization of loss for the landlord. You can't just put your hands up and be like, oh, well, and just let it be. There is a responsibility on all parties, strata involved, the property manager, the landlord, and the tenant. So we're really in partnership with four people. If it's a unit, if it's a house, strata's not involved. Extracting water out of a rental property is a process. It takes time. Tenants are very helpful usually. They'll minimize loss by putting down towels. They'll help, get the water out. They'll notify the landlord right away, all that sort of stuff. But then on the flip side, there is an occasion where it might have been a slighter leak or something and nothing gets reported. For example, a slow leak over time in the back of a vanity. Then the tenant goes to move out and that vanity is rotten inside, black mold, the shelves sagging. That instance, the tenant would be asked to, go through a timeline. Why didn't you report this? And that's when the bond would come into place when they vacate because they didn't inform us. There is a part in the lease agreement that states the tenant needs to inform the landlord of maintenance and things of an urgent nature. So it's a two-way street.
I never realised why there was so much urgency placed on water removal, because you sort of think, it's only water, it's going to dry. But that's actually the stuff that really does the damage when it sits around. So the earlier you can get the water out of the cabinetry, out of the carpet, out of the wherever it's sitting, the less damage and less mold there's going to be over the months and years ahead. Is this correct?
Yes, it is. And the importance of drying underneath. So say you've got a water sodden carpet or floorboards. Floorboards are a problem as well. Most likely a landlord insurance will have their floorboards replaced under insurance, because once that water is absorbed into the wood or the laminate, it's very hard to keep and replace. But it's drying of that floor slab that is really important as well, because once you peel everything off and the concrete's still wet, whatever you put back on top is going to get moldy and wet. So that drying process is super important also. We have a package in our office that we provide our landlords and tenants and clients with equipment that's designed to extract water, dry the carpets, all that sort of stuff. But it is a race against time before mold spores can start to generate, and then it becomes an even bigger problem. Then you've got to replace skirting boards, you've got possibility of rising damp, you've got a whole bunch of stuff that can arise from just leaving it or not treating it properly.
Now, there's how what's the process for water extraction? What are the who does it? What do they use? Is it just a good old fashioned fan? What happens there?
Well, it's dependent on where. If it's carpet, so you need a real good water extraction device that's like a carpet cleaner, but that also can remove water. We have one of those in the office, and we do provide a drying package where we will come out straight away. Someone from our office that's designated to this task comes out, removes the water as much as possible from the carpet, and then the carpet gets peeled back, and then you've got industrial dryers. They're not just a little fan, they're proper dryers that are designed to dry the slab, and they could be in there anywhere between 2 or 3 days.
And you're telling me before you came on air you love a Bunnings dehumidifier.
I do. I've just come out of a final inspection where the bathroom door at the base was swollen, and it was a new door. It was a new granny flat, new build. And there was no water anywhere near this door. And we couldn't think, where is this, what's occurred here? And then lo and behold, the dryer is sitting right above that door. So the tenants would maybe put, I don't know, 8 towels in there, shut the door and let the dryer just dry all day. And that moisture was absorbed somewhere in the bottom of the door. So a dehumidifier is really important in these winter months and with all this rain, especially for people living in units. It's very hard. I understand, like I've got mountains of washing at the moment, piling up with kids and everything else. You need to dry your stuff, but you can't have a dryer running all day inside without ventilation. And a dehumidifier is very, very good for that. You can have it on, you can set a timer, run it during the night, run it during the day when you're at work. And then what that does is just extracts moisture from the room. And then you just grab the little tub and you just pour the water out. Simple as that.
People may not know, and this is probably the best tip I can give, is a dehumidifier is getting rid of humidity. Humidity is the difference in temperature between hot and cold. It's that water that comes out and gets extracted. I might get you just to turn your phone volume down a touch if that's okay. I'm getting an echo. So humidity is that water that you that's in the room. So if you've ever seen an air conditioner drip, that's because the air conditioner is removing the water out of the air. There's actually a setting on every air conditioner. There's 4 settings: cool, auto, heat, and dry. So you can actually go up to your air conditioner at home, leave it on dry once a month, 24 hours, and it'll pull all the humidity out of that room. So for people that don't know, it's amazing how much dampness will actually grow in a room through the winter months. Why am I telling you that? Because this is stuff that actually will do permanent damage or will create mold in a property. It's the humidity that's going to do it. So, and then what people don't actually realise is they think putting on heaters will dry stuff out. What actually dries washing out and dries stuff out is airflow. So, mate, it's not closing all the windows up ain't going to help you. Got to leave those windows open as well if you don't have any mechanical units to help you.
Yes, especially in winter. It's very important. We often go to properties and you see those windows are just dripping with condensation, and then in front of that is a blind. Well, of course, that blind's going to go moldy if you haven't opened the window and let all of that condensation escape somehow. It's just, it sits on the blinds, it sits on the curtains, and it'll find a way, and it can manifest into something really horrible and very quickly. So, have to leave all your windows open when you go out during the day, even if it's just a touch during winter. I know it's cold. Some places are colder than others, but it's just part of living in a coastal environment where we are on the northern beaches. Airflow is very important in all our rental properties. Bit of a boring topic, but it's important.
Leo, no one's teaching this in school. It's maybe even rare that your parents are going to have this conversation with you. But when it starts costing people money, now we've got their interest with bonds and things like that. So I think it's a super important topic. And it's stuff that I wish I knew when I was younger, would have saved me a hell of a lot more money.
Yes, and just one more tip, those little DampRid buckets that you can get for your cupboard, amazing. I don't know what it was. There was a time during COVID where you couldn't get your hands on them. They were almost like hand sanitizer. You know the ones, they're just like a little
Yep.
tub with like the kitty pellet sort of cat litter in it.
Damp
But they
Rid.
also drain moisture. Pardon?
DampRid. There's a brand called DampRid, DampRid.
DampRid.
You sit them in the bottom of your cupboards and stuff, and it'll extract. Happens in your clothes. It happens in your shoes. Moisture. Stuff like that. So there you go, guys and girls. Yes, I know what you're saying, Claire. It's a bit of a boring topic, but I know hopefully we'll help people out there today.
Have a great one, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.